get like a little bit of time where it's not fucking flaming hot?
It's on the downslope.
Is it?
Not today. Today's 95.
Ugh.
But then it's going to be 87 and then 74 on Monday.
Whoa, buddy. That's hoodie weather in the morning.
Yeah.
And in the evening.
So then it's going to be in like the 80s and then not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after that it's going to get back to the high 90s again.
Fuck me.
It can't decide. It keeps like
Please.
dipping.
Please, autumn. Please, it's time. Come on.
So it looks like it's not going to be completely done until October. It's the very first day of fucking fall, supposedly. It's going to be 92.
Ugh. Ugh. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for them 70s. I'm ready for them 60s and them 50s. I'm ready for the cold.
It sucks that you have to work on the day it's going to be the nicest.
I know. That's always the way it works out. I'm going to be trapped inside, stuck to my desk all day on the day that it's beautiful outside. Of course. Of course. Of course. All fucking day, too, because my dumbass has participated in the creation of a show that just has to be 6.5 fucking hours every time. It can't do a couple 2-hour shows like a normal person. Nope. Gotta be 2 6-hour shows a week. Getting jutsu me.
But the next day it'll be 80, which is still nice.
It's still okay, but I want them 70s. I want them 70s. And it's supposed to rain too that day, maybe?
They took away the rain forecast. That
Boo! I thought it was supposed to rain a little bit.
It was maybe, but then they changed their mind. They're like, nah, it's probably not. It might, I guess. They might have prematurely withdrew their rain forecast.
Oh. Passive aggressive me. That's a good one. I like me some apple nasty. Oh, god damn it.
What?
Getting sick. Why does ginger work so well for that? They have to have done a scientific study or something. Bleh. At what point does an innocent habit become a full-blown addiction? I think that depends on the person and the addiction and the habit, right?
If you use it to cope with any negativity, you're risking addiction.
Yeah, the more you're using it to cope, you're risking that kind of addictive problem in your life, and then the more you feel you need it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's not a black-white thing. There are people that can drink like fish and never really develop a super unhealthy relationship with it. And there are people
just put it down and then
yeah. And then there are people that literally can't let it touch their lips, or they just lose control of themselves. And it's like there's this whole gradient of people between those 2 points. You seem like a chronic child molester. Not just like a passing one, but like a chronic one. All right, bud. Enjoy your band. When it stops being fun and something becomes something to make you feel normal. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, I think by that point, you've already kind of fallen down the rabbit hole, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you're just having to do it to maintain yourself and feel like a normal human being, then yeah, I think you're down the rabbit hole pretty far. But, you know, I mean, there are some people that can do that kind of like non-addictive partying where they just kind of like, you know, I drink, I do some cocaine when I want, smoke weed here and there. And they just never really develop any kind of like unhealthy attraction to it. It's just like a fun way to unwind for them. They might be coping with it a little bit. Oh, I had a hard week. I'm going to go over to my friend's house and drink a sixer and watch the game. But it never develops into that like, I've got to go do another sixer. I've got to let me get another sixer. You know, they're just people that are capable of not falling down that rabbit hole.
Do you think you had one foot on each side when you were drinking in your 20s?
Oh, yeah. I was an alcohol abuser in my 20s, 100%.
You felt like the parties were like just a vehicle to have more alcohol?
Alcohol wasn't the thing I struggled with the most. Yeah. It was it was a factor.
Yeah.
But you know, alcohol. I've able to dodge that bullet my whole life. Definitely have the genetic predisposition to develop a really unhealthy relationship with alcohol. But it was more just like the other shit that I got into. And then that plus the alcohol is really dangerous, you know? What do you think about video game addiction? It's just like anything else. It's like escapism, right? Like you do a big line of coke to escape your normal inhibitions. You go out, you feel like a super person. You feel like you've got superpowers for a few hours. You go out, your inhibitions are lowered, right? And then you take that same exact feeling and you put yourself in this immersive kind of video game in the shoes of somebody who's a badass who don't take no shit off of nobody, right?
Or you're just like chasing that dopamine hit of like the next little achievement or level or whatever the fuck.
They've got like the gotcha games where it's like, you know, you're playing the game and grinding the game for random rewards. You know, all of that is obvious, right? Guy who called you a molester is deaf on his way to a hate sub right now. You're probably right. It just is what it is, bro.
Did you see that post on the hate sub of like, does this sentence make sense? The guy that's like, do you think the monasteries are getting lit? And everyone else was fucking coping with them. Like, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Like, what does it even mean? No, but did any of them define it? Did any of them go like, this is what you were trying to say?
Nope. They just like, oh, makes sense to me.
Dude, those places are just filled with very broken people. Yeah. I feel bad that dude did trigger me to end the fucking show last night, but it was going down the toilet anyway. It was just, and then he argued with me about the fact that it did make sense instead of explaining it. It's just like, oh.
It's just like in that context, getting lit means getting high, and a monastery
getting lit get high. Getting lit means partying.
Yeah.
And a building can't party. A building can't get drunk. A building can't do rails of coke. So what is he talking about? Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't understand why he was saying it. But whatever. I don't really check over there. Every once in a blue moon I'll go take a peek at what the Lost Souls, the band Meat, is doing. But it's become less and less interesting and fun to me, and more just kind of like sad and disconnected. Like last time I checked, one of the dudes, grown-ass, married-ass man that was involved in all the drama that caused me to take down fucking Salt Rackus is still over there. Mm-hmm. Married. In his mid-30s, married with a whole-ass career. And his ass is still over there camped up talking about how Destiny and Vosh owned me. It's like, some people never mature, bro. It's like even when they LARP, like adults. They never get past that fucking 13-year-old shit. And you know, it was fun at first going over there and poking the bear and watching them get desperate. But then when I realized that, like, I don't know, maybe 50% of these dudes are in it for the lulz, and the other 50% really got an axe to grind and think they're doing something, it started to get sad.
It's just funny, like, the level of hate is, like, making people, like, fucking gaslight each other, like...
Oh, yeah. It's a whole alternate, like, that. It's a sign of what I've talked about in here, that, like, life now, reality is now a choose-your-own-adventure book. There used to be mechanisms in place to when you had wild ideas, society would just correct you. You know, those ideas would be challenged. You wouldn't be able to find a nest of really obsessive people with the same kind of mental and social problems as you to gaslight you into thinking you were right. And so there was a natural mechanism of social correction that happened when people acted outside of social norms, acted outside of, like, established polite norms. There, you know, people would react in public and tell them, hey, shut the fuck up, weirdo. Get the fuck away from me. And once you've done that a few times, it doesn't feel good. You stop doing it. You learn. But so many of these people have been sheltered in this internet kind of soup that they don't know how to do that anymore. The fact that they can find somebody that's just as obsessive and weird and gaslighty as them, like, reinforces this negative feedback loop in their lives. How does Amelia feel about all the hate you get online? I don't know. How do you feel about it, baby?
I mean, I don't care for it, but I know that me jumping in there and trying to defend you with it isn't gonna make it go away.
No, it just adds to the fire usually, but.
So you know, I'll keep my distance from it. I'll peek at it, and if something seems like absurd or something, I might. I guess I haven't really raised anything like that to you.
I don't really. I mean, you and I don't really have an intertwined online existence.
Yeah.
Like, you do your own thing, I kind of do my own thing.
I think maybe a couple times I saw something on, like, the main sub that you have control over. Like, you have the power that this should probably be taken down, but that's about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as, like, how you feel about it, well, of course, you don't like reading mean things about people that you love, probably. But it's
and I know a lot of people have talked shit about me on it, too, but...
Oh, yeah. You know, I hate it when they do that. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, like, if you didn't want to be talked about at all, you probably should never pipe up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm okay with people discussing things that you've said, but people just trying to, like, drag you into some weird internet drama thing that really, like, is not even adjacent to you is, you know, it sucks. It sucks. But it's part of my job. You know, you can't have this job and have, like, the thinnest skin in the world.
And, like, we came up with this little solution where I can be involved, but I'm more at arm's length or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not on camera as much as you. I don't have this giant social media presence stressing that
No.
we're related.
No. Yeah, I think it's best that way. Paul, where did you grow up? Central California. Madera, California, specifically.
Oven of the United States.
Yeah, and the asshole and taint and armpit of the United States as well.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are maybe a little harsh on Ohio in the early DB
Too flat.
days.
Too flat.
But saying it was the armpit, I feel like there's more armpity parts of the United
Probably.
States.
Why is Africa still poor, and will African countries ever become first world countries, Paul? On a long enough time scale, I think yes. Why are they poor? Because the African continent has basically been a colonial dumping ground. It is a place where the people and the resources have been maximally exploited by Europeans and Eastern migrants. The people there have been locked in this kind of game of corruption where their leaders are subverted by world powers, their leaders do horrible things, their leaders get overthrown. I mean, any progress that a lot of these African nations would have made has been utterly stymied by the profit motive. So, you know, will Africa, you know, be a continent of first world countries eventually? I think on a long enough time scale it will be. Somebody did ask why Africa was poor. It's okay.
You want another coffee too?
Yeah, if there is one, I think I could do another.
Yeah, I got a whole new thing at Cold Store.
Oh, thank you, baby. You know what? I'm gonna come in too because I gotta blow my nose. I'm tired of sniffling.
Maybe once it finally, or that Monday when it's supposed to be cooler, maybe I'll go on a little baking adventure.
Yeah. Maybe so.
What's something that I've baked that I haven't done fucking forever that you like?
It's been a hot minute since we had some banana bread.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we did like some brownies or some cookies or, you know, any of that shit.
Okay.
Zucchini bread would be good. I don't know if you've ever made that. I love zucchini bread.
I definitely like it. I just haven't like personally made it before, but I'm sure I could.
My mom's got a recipe.
Yeah.
She used to make loaves of zucchini bread to the point where you could actually see the green in it. But it's so good. Hey, from Slovakia. Hello, Slovakia. Lemon bars are like my favorite fucking thing, bro.
Yeah, they just take a long
Yeah,
time.
lemon bars are not easy to make, but they are.
You gotta squeeze and zest like a fuck ton of lemons.
Yep, to make them good, to make them right. They have like lemon bar boxes that you can buy. Those are shit. Real lemon bars where you take a pie crust and you're making your own lemon, like jelly, jam, or whatever you'd call it, filling that goes in there, bakes in. You can't beat that shit, bro.
But you gotta sit for like an hour and fucking juice and grate lemons.
Yeah. Will iPad kids be a burden on society in the future? They already are. I mean, they're already causing, like, not themselves, not maliciously, but they're already causing, you know, kids that don't have that kind of parenting style to get worse educations, because so much of the little bit of one-on-one instruction time that a teacher or a school can afford to give to a kid is obviously going to be focused on the kids that have the most profound learning disabilities, the kids that are the most behind, the kids that have social problems. And, you know, there are kids that do okay in school that still would benefit greatly from some one-on-one time with a teacher to help them with this, that, or the other thing, and they just don't get that.
If anything, they give more one-on-one time to the kids that aren't struggling, which is fucking weird.
Well, because it's easier.
Yeah. But, Do you think that schools giving kids iPads and Chromebooks made it worse?
Yes.
Normalized it more?
Leaning into technology, and I was talking about this back when I used to work at the district. One of the cool things about working at the school district is I wasn't working for a corporation in a traditional sense. I was a government employee backed by the SEIU. So I had a union over my head. I could say whatever the fuck I wanted about my job and the people in it. And so I started saying to teachers, to administrators, because they would ask me, it's a lot of money, huh? You know, they would talk to me about the plans. Oh, we're getting all these, there's a lot of money, huh? And I'd say, you want to know how I feel about this? Yeah. I think that this is a waste of money. I think that had you taken this couple $1 million that we're about to spend on laptops and carts and bullshit, and I think that if you would put that into putting up 2 or 3 or 4 new classrooms and hiring 4 new teachers, your kids would benefit greatly. I don't think your kids are going to benefit much from this. That's just my honest assessment.
It's shiny.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, look, this is my job. I'll make it work for you. I'll make sure that it runs to the best of my ability. Keep in mind, though, we're adding a bunch of devices, but we're not adding anybody like me. So my ass, who's already busy, is now going to be doubly, triply busy. But I'm going to do my best to keep it running for you. I just don't think it's going to help your kids. Well, I tend to agree. But see, a lot of times people think principals have a lot of say in that. They don't. They get told.
They get told by the school district.
Yep, they get told by the educational instruction district level how much money they've got and what they can spend it on.
And it's a weird power dynamic too, because like the electing school board members is like a double-edged sword. Like it's accountability, but it's also like trying to find quick wins rather than lasting change.
Yeah, I mean, like the school board in my little town, some of the people had been on there since I was a kid in the schools. One of them, his last name, I mean, he's a public figure, so fuck him. His name is Garibay. I went to school with his son. His son was a prick, Tim Garibay. Fuck him. And this dude has been on the school board since I was a child. And he's still there, and he does nothing for the kids. It's just a political position. He's a local businessman. And so he uses it as a way to make him prominent in the community, so that his name is out there. He owns this, he owns that. Let's go shop there because he's a good guy. He's a Madera guy. His name is just synonymous with like the school board now. So he's going to get reelected because people are just so used to checking his name. And it sucks. Garibay, yeah, I think that's like a Taiwanese name or an Indonesian name. I know it's Southeast Asian. I'm just not sure what, but I'm not sure. But to my knowledge, his ass is still on the board. It's the good old boy system.
And it looks like he's not there anymore.
So he retired. I mean, he was old as shit. So he probably just retired eventually. If it's anything like Madera, I would bet that his son
eventually
ends up, Tim Garibay Jr. will be, and he was a prick, dude. Tim Garibay was a prick to me, bro. And his dad is a prick. So, fuck him.
Yeah. Like, do you recognize any of the names still, or no?
Yep. Siebert is an old one. Salazar was the one that tried to sue the school district because they refused to give her a fucking no-limit credit card. The rest of them are new to me. But yeah, Ray Siebert in Area 1 has been in there for fucking ever. Lucy Salazar has been the board president since I left. Yeah. If I send you a bud, can you review it? Homegrown, no pesticides, all natty. No.
You can't put it in the mail, bro.
You can't mail weed, and I don't give out my address, and I'm not having you send weed to a fucking postal, whatever, P.O. box. So no, you really can't. I tell you what you could do, come to a meetup and hand me some weed, and I'll probably take it. So long as it's not in a place that it's dead ass illegal, but we won't be doing meetups in those types of places anyway. You wanna give me some weed? Come to a meetup and hand me some weed. I'll smoke it with you. But yeah, I don't accept gifts in the mail and shit. I just don't.
I just don't want to deal with the fucking hassle.
It's not even the hassle. It's nice. People want, like, dude, back in the DP days, we had a P.O. box. People would send nice ass shit. It's nice to get gifts. I just don't feel like that. I feel like it's a one-way thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel right. I really don't like gift giving culture in general. I never have. I don't really, as an adult, expect anybody to get me a fucking gift. Tell me happy birthday. No, it's nice. My wife will get me something. My mom might give me a card with a $20 bill in it or something, whatever. But if they stopped doing that, I wouldn't be butthurt at all. I wouldn't. So gift giving, that's not how I express love for people, by buying them a thing. It's just not my thing. And so I'd be fine if that shit fucking went away in toto.
Like, except for, like, little kids or something.
Yeah, of course. When I was a little kid, I got birthday presents, and Santa would come and bring me presents. It's like, I'm not a little kid anymore. I could participate in having fun watching my nieces and nephews open their Santa presents and stuff like that, but I don't need to have a fucking present under the tree. I just don't need it. And the idea of people watching me, rewarding me with these very thoughtful gifts, and me really not being in a position or having the desire to ever return that, just doesn't feel right to me, bro. I'll be honest with you. I never would have set up a P.O. box on my own, but because they had one, people would send me shit labeled, "This is for Paul." I mean, I'm not going to fucking throw it in the garbage. It was cool. People sent me DVD. I've got like a Coen Brothers DVD collection. People sent me a bunch of like really cool books and merch and all kinds of shit, bro. And it was cool, but I just felt like, man, this is just like scalping again off of an audience that's already paying my bills. It's like, how many times can you endlessly remonetize and incentivize more money out of your audience? I'm not saying it was a bad thing. Other people do it. Most big fucking podcasters got a P.O. box where you can send shit. It's just not something I want to do, man. I feel like it's an imbalance. And I don't want people getting the wrong idea. I don't want you being a person that's got like a little expendable income, sending me nice things every month, thinking that you're developing some kind of relationship with me through being kind.
Yeah, like, it seems like Mr. Naughty Priest understands that, like, the money he gives you doesn't mean that you're besties.
No. But also, I mean, Mr. Naughty Priest has been around since fucking back in the day. He's old school beyond the old school.
Yeah.
And so he gets a little bit of clout in the community. And it's not just because he's dropped thousands and thousands of dollars. It's because he's consistently shown that he donates because he enjoys the show.
Yeah.
He doesn't expect us to glaze him everywhere he goes. He doesn't expect us to help him out here. He's not looking for anything other than just like, hey guys, I like you.
Yeah. And then you're like, thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro. Right. And that type of thing, that's cool. That's part of my job. But having a whole P.O. box where you guys are sending me nice ass shit, I don't need it. I'm not a tchotchke guy. I don't buy myself a bunch of shit that looks nice to sit around and look at.
Yeah. You did it this year because you just hadn't done it in forever.
We're talking about watches.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a whole different thing. That's like my hobby. I own 5 watches. You know what I mean? I don't have like decorations and endless books. I don't have a Blu-ray collection or a DVD collection anymore. I really don't. I don't play physical.
Dee, come here. Dinor. Come on. Dinor.
All right, they got a sniff. They got a sniff of each other. What did you guys think? Friends or foes?
Dale likes to play with everything.
Yeah, so does he. He just doesn't like anybody knowing anything about his backyard, you know? As soon as you... Oh, don't worry about it. It's...
I never even noticed that.
These fences are about to fall over. Don't...
Yeah, they fixed a couple boards down there, but that's about it.
Yeah. Dino.
Come here.
He don't like that giggling ball either.
Oh, he loves it.
Oh, does he?
That's all that's going throughout my whole house all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ball.
our dog's
Quacks.
our dog's scared of it.
Oh
So,
my God, no, he loves it.
all right,
He
good.
loves it.
All right, good.
Okay, you guys ready to go play? Oh,
What did people do before there was Social Security to survive if they didn't have a job? People died.
ready? Look at me, ready?
Like poverty used to just kill people. People would just die. They would starve. They would look to community things like community organizations to fill the role, right? So there were a lot of people in soup kitchen lines and bread lines, people riding the rails. A lot of times there were way more facilities and avenues for a woman to get shelter than a man. A woman could often go back to her family, her paternal family, and get shelter in that way. There were far more religious organizations, convents, and nunneries that would accept women in need with their children. It wasn't perfect, and it definitely wasn't anywhere near as extensive as it is today. But most of the people that suffered were working age men. Because they're, you can't go back to your family as a working age man. You can't, oftentimes you have no family if you think about it back then. People didn't live past 50 or 60. So it's like oftentimes you don't have that fallback as a working man. The only thing that's keeping you elevated is the sweat of your brow. And in a downturned economy where you can't find work, what do you think happened to them, Before there was some sort of a safety net that kept people from falling directly through the cracks into the void, people just fell through the cracks into the void. And they still do. Our safety net is riddled with holes and blind spots and underserved and underrepresented communities. 100%. Feel like the left doesn't talk about retirement enough. Well, what passes for the left in this country doesn't want you to ever retire. What passes for the left on this country is quietly sat by while the fucking retirement age has gone up, up, up. They love it. They want you to work until you're fucking already dead.
They killed the pension and put it all on people. Like, you can save for retirement, but we're not gonna
We're not gonna enforce it. We're not gonna make sure that you're covered when you're old. So no. What passes for the left in this country doesn't give a fuck about you or yours or your security or your safety or whether you fall through the net.
Medicare for all is in the garbage.
Yep, Medicare for all, which was a huge leftist staple program, staple position in 2020.
Or 2016, really. More.
2016, but 2022.
Yeah.
So just last cycle, Medicare for all, massive part of the Democratic platform. One cycle later, and it's not even mentioned. It's not even on the table as a conversation anymore. This is the type of shit I'm talking about, guys. They don't give a fuck. They're not the People's Party. They're not the ones standing in front of fascism holding it back. They're rolling out the red carpet for it. They're making sure that fascism is comfy when it's in power. Give me a break, guys. Give me a break. Talk to me like an adult. This online-brained fucking football politics shit is cute, and it might feel good to engage in it, but bro, it's ruining this goddamn fucking world.
The only thing that's going to bring pensions back is workers.
Mm-hmm.
Workers organizing,
100%.
demanding pensions.
You have to take it. Howdy, blind programmer. You have to take it. They're not going to give it. They're not just going to all of a sudden open up their hearts and be like, we ought to treat people good. Let's give these people a living wage. Let's make sure these people are taken care of when they engage in 20 years of hard and good labor for our corporation. They're never going to do it. You got to take it. So you going to take it, or are you just going to keep sucking soup? The answer right now seems to be like people are ready to keep sucking soup. Well, okay. Let's see how long that fortifies your body and your mind. Let's see how your children do. When you see your children struggling harder than you did, I bet you're going to feel a little different. It's all good, though, now. Don't look forward. Don't be proactive in your thinking. Don't be proactive in your politics. Think about the here and the now. Don't forget Orange Man bad. Don't ever vote for something. Vote against things. You notice how that's happened? It's
Well,
no
like
longer about, I like this person's policies more than I like this person's policies. It's, this person sucks, but not as bad as this person.
Well,
I'm voting against Donald Trump. It's like, no.
Even on Kamala Harris's policy page, after every point is like, and this is what Project 2025 says.
They think that Project 2025 thing, and they've done this before.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember the names of these fucking conservative think tank pieces, but I have seen this as part of the fucking national electoral cycle at least fucking 5 times. Some right-wing, crazy Catholic think tank will release a policy paper. And what these basically amount to is an academic fantasy wish list. If everything was done exactly how we, this very small academic group of right-wing thinkers, did it, this is what would happen. And they release it. And the left wing, like, well, if one of these has come out in an election year, they'll throw, look at their plan. Female Sharia law. They want to be in your womb. They want this. They want that. Meanwhile, if you really read these documents, it upsets the fucking economic apple cart to the extent that it will never be done.
Yeah.
You have to understand these social issues are convenient for political figures, but they're not the center. The center is, can we keep printing money? Can we keep printing fiat currency and dodging our taxes? Can we keep getting kickbacks from these corporations and keep that hand in glove, greased palm fucking relationship going? That's what they care about, full stop. Everything else is just meat for you. It's red meat is what they call it. Red meat for the base. I'm going to say something that fires people up. I ain't going to do it because it would require restructuring a government that only serves corporate interests now, but I'll say I'll do it. The debt is ballooned. The debt is no longer even, we're not even talking about it anymore. The national deficit used to be a major point. People used to be freaked out that America was in hock. Now we're fucking 20 million times deeper in hock than we were then, and nobody cares.
Yeah, like, I believe Trump hasn't read it. I believe.
Oh, I 100% believe. I don't believe Trump can read.
Yeah. Not something that is dense and fucking
I think if you put 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish in front of Trump, he could get through it. Maybe. If he had a fucking reward at the end of it. If there was a cheeseburger at the end of it, he'd get through it. But I don't think this motherfucker could read a chapter of a Harry Potter book and summarize it for you. I don't think he could. I don't think he could read a fucking chapter of the Sorcerer's Stone and tell me what happened in it. And I fucking stand on that.
Wasn't one of the, like, bios he read that they had to, like, dumb down the briefing
Yes.
he got?
They used to give, because, like, presidents want a bunch of information on hand. Even if they don't assimilate it all, they want to refer to it as you're talking.
Yeah.
And so they would bring him these big, thick packets, and he would complain about them. I don't even understand this. This doesn't mean anything. These graphs is just bullshit. Right? And so they had to put pictures. They would put a man standing there going, hi, Mr. Trump. You know what I mean? It's like literally they had to dumb it down and make it more visual. More colors, more colorful graphs. Bigger data points, so it's more broad and less focused on a key issue. You know? Explain it to him, literally explain it to him like he's 5. Yeah. And you know that for a fact, huh? Yeah, I do. I've read both of Bob Woodward's book. They include extensive vetted interviews with people that worked closely with Trump. So yes, I do know that to the extent that I can. Was I in the room? No. But if we're reducing it to that, what the fuck do you know at all? So put yourself at the same standard or get with it and admit what happened. The motherfucker is got about a 4th grade reading level. I'm not claiming outlandish claims either. Read Bob Woodward's books. Read all of the interviews from insiders and Trump staffers and people that prepared his materials. I didn't say all that shit. That's hearsay? Okay. I'm not putting them on trial, though. I'm not putting them on trial. So what you're alleging is about 15 people that worked for Donald Trump all got together and colluded to come up with the same lie that they had to dumb down shit to get him to pay attention to it, and then ran with it. Okay, fair enough. You believe that there's like a 15, 20 person conspiracy.
Yeah.
I believe Donald Trump is retarded.
They made a lie to the guy that's the most litigious fuck ever.
Right. So you tell me, use a little Occam's razor. Who's most likely to be right, assuming the simplest answer is usually the case? Is Donald Trump a retard that can barely read? Or is there a 20-person conspiracy where he happened to get 20 people that hated him in his administration to all collude and make up a single lie that the guy is retarded and can't read?
And Trump's lawyers didn't even attempt to counter them
No.
ever.
No suits, no nothing. Didn't even really address it.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it, well, yeah. I like colors. I like loud, I like This is not ideal. Having my phone plugged in is not ideal.
Is it close to like where we can unplug it?
I mean, I could probably unplug it. It'll be fine. It's like half charge now. It'll be fine. It's a conspiracy. It's just like people are so silly. You mean like Russiagate? Oh, you mean like the investigation that led to the prosecution and indictment and conviction of like 15 people in Trump's administration? Yeah. You mean that? Are you going to say that was fake? So you're saying Russia didn't do anything to try and influence the election? Is that what you're saying? Because that's not what the evidence shows. That's not what the evidence shows. I don't want a ring light, bro. My eyes are light sensitive. I don't want light right in my face. You can look at me fucking suboptimally. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not trying to be a beauty blogger or whatever. I don't care what I look like. The Mueller report was about his taxes, I thought. Well, there were 2 different investigations going on. Both of them having to do with Russian influence. The Mueller report was about whether or not there was direct ties from Donald Trump and his campaign to Russia. The answer was yes.
It's officially titled Report on the Investigation into Russian Interference in the 2016 Presidential Election.
That's the actual title of the Mueller report. So there you go. It wasn't about his taxes. And the answer, by the way, to was there Russian interference was a resounding yes. The answer to can we pin anything directly on Donald Trump was no. The answer to could we pin something directly on a number of Donald Trump's close associates, the answer was yes.
Did he pardon most of those associates?
The answer is yes. So let's be honest about it. Let's be real about it. Let's talk about what happened and what didn't. But don't bring that up like it's a defense of Donald Trump, because it ain't. At best, Donald Trump was a useful idiot that allowed Russia to fill his campaign with a bunch of negative influence. And that's at best. He's a retard that didn't know he's getting worked.
Which, maybe he is that stupid.
Well, I mean, if the aforementioned conversation about how they had to dumb things down to 4th grade to get him to stay interested during briefings, yeah. Yeah.
You believe he's dumb a lot more than you believe Tim Pool was so dumb that he just didn't notice
Yeah.
he was getting...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tim Pool taking $100,000 an episode from a company and then saying he knows nothing about it and never talked to them is just like fucking unbelievably dumb. And I don't believe Tim Pool's dumb. Not in that way. But Donald Trump, I believe that motherfucker's retarded. I think he's got about a 4th grade reading level. I don't think that motherfucker could read a passage in the Bible. And tell you what it was, tell you what was being said or talked about. I don't think that motherfucker could read one line of Shakespeare and give you a fucking summarization of it, let alone a fucking play. I don't think that motherfucker has read a single international treatise on anything. I don't think he reads, period. I think he sits in front of Fox News all day shoving fucking hamburgers in his mouth because that's what everybody that works with him says he does. Of course, that could be a 90-person conspiracy. You know, it's just like the corner that you Trump people back yourselves into trying to pretend this dude is some kind of fucking 4D chess god is insane. He's retarded. I didn't take my fucking SATs. It wasn't common. It wasn't uncommon, especially at his age, for SATs to be deferred. I didn't take my SATs. I took ACTs. And I still got a full ride scholarship to a state college.
And there's plenty of colleges that don't give a fuck. Like, a community college doesn't care.
The SATs don't mean what they did back in the 70s and the 80s and shit. So, I wouldn't really hold that over his head. There's a lot of really smart people that didn't take their SATs. A lot of really smart people that didn't do well in college. That's not the dependency. The dependency is, can this motherfucker read a paragraph in a Harry Potter book and tell you what's going on in it? The answer is no. Guaranteed. You really want to do a test that would see if Donald Trump is fit to be president? Put a young adult novel in front of him. Tell him you have to read one chapter of this and write a summary of it. Have him do something that they asked you to do in 2nd grade. I bet what came out of him would be fucking incomprehensible gobbledygook nonsense garbage, like a kid that doesn't know what it's doing. So that would be a real easy way to put to bed all of these rumors that Donald Trump is retarded. Let that motherfucker pick up Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, put him in a room where he's got no earpiece, have him read it, take the test and write out a summary that's fucking 2 pages double spaced, and then judge what comes out of him at the end of the hour and a half, 2 hours that it should take somebody to do that.
Yeah, like all the cognitive tests that he quote-unquote aced are basically like, do you have brain damage?
Is this a giraffe? No, it's literally like he aced a cognitive test to see whether somebody's fucking got terminal brain damage or not. That's not what I'm alleging. I think he's just stupid. I don't think he got brain damage. I think he just retarded.
He's probably declined. But
I don't think this motherfucker could listen. Like, here's another Trump test we could do. Put Trump in a room. Put a TV in front of him. Play him an hour of a presidential debate from the 70s. And then tell him to summarize the positions of the 2 candidates. He couldn't do it. He wouldn't have a fucking clue what they were talking about. He would have no frame of reference. He would not be able to contextualize the politics of the time. He has no historical frame of reference, no ability to reference anything that was fucking contemporary with it. He'd be done. He'd be done. He didn't write The Art of the Deal. You understand that, right? That's not a Donald Trump book. He had a ghostwriter. This is very common. There is absolutely 0% chance Donald Trump wrote The Art of the Deal. 0.
Or read it.
Huh?
He might not have even read it.
I doubt he's even read it. This was a ghost-written book. He probably dictated something. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. And then some talented person made all that gobbledygook into something like a self-help book that people would buy. I doubt Donald Trump has even read The Art of the Deal.
It was probably like his secretaries and shit that told the author what was actually going on.
Yeah. That's a ghost-written book. Donald Trump never wrote that book. Donald Trump couldn't tell you what's in. If you asked him, like, summarize chapter 3 of The Art of the Deal for me, he wouldn't be able to do it. He wouldn't know what's in that fucking book. You kidding me? Give him. You think he would pass a multiple choice test
about his own
on The Art of the Deal? A 4th grade level multiple choice comprehension test. Do you think Donald Trump would pass with a better than 50%? My answer is no.
But Paul, I thought you were a secret Republican that never criticized Trump.
You are fucking retarded. Dude, did they not remember this like a scant month ago when I did like 3 streams where I was obsessed with his big, swinging, smelly dump diaper? I guess that was pro-Trump. These people are fucking brain-broken little retards. When you don't go along with the cope stroke, when you're not sucking on the Kamala mommy milk, you must be a Republican because black and white, right? The world is a binary. Either you like Kamala or you like Trump. What? No. And they totally agree with you on everything else. These are the same motherfuckers that'll fucking back you up when you're talking about how sexuality and gender are a spectrum, not a hard binary. There is no such thing as a gender binary. Base, dude. I don't like Kamala. You must like Trump. It's just like... the self-awareness is fucking unreal. Make it make sounds. Bro, I've never seen anyone take so much shit than you for speaking truth to power. Well, see, that's the thing. Is like, it didn't used to be this way for people like me. I'm common from my generation. Like, my political prescriptions and my blue-collar mentality is super, super duper common for my generation. So I'm like a dime a dozen back in the 90s. Speaking truth to power was what we did best in the 90s. The 90s were a massive, massive rejection of corporate authoritarianism. If you look at the 80s, it was fashion, it was money, it was cars, it was slickly produced techno tracks, all that type of shit. I like that music and stuff. It's nostalgic to me, but the culture was very much cocaine and money. And then the 90s came along, and we didn't want to be told how to dress, how to act. We didn't want to hang around with those fucking coked out squares anyway. The 90s had a very, very strong anti-authoritarian streak, and I'm just one of those guys. But now, the Overton window has moved so far to the right since my politics were established that people treat me like I'm a fucking lunatic for holding the same positions I've always held. And it's more of a commentary on the Overton window and how far it's shifted to the right. You've got people that claim to be radical leftists arguing for somebody who's perpetrating a genocide right now, killing babies in the street, but better than orange man. That is not leftism, bro. That's corporate centrism at best. And that's Republican lightism at worst. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not on the right wing. When I'm given a right winger and a right winger, I don't vote for the right winger. That's just the way I am. And that is a radical position these days. And people will fuck on you endlessly because they need the people that they listen to mirror their own fucking feelings and prescriptions on things. I'm sorry, dude. Not gonna happen. Can't do it. Yeah, the 90s were highly corporatized. When was a non-highly corporatized time? I'll wait. You got to go back into the fucking early 1900s, maybe even before then. You got to go to like the late 19th century, maybe. And even then. Yeah. Come on. Let's get real. I'm talking about how people reacted in the face of the corporate behemoth. I'm talking about how people's worldview informed their politics. Right? At a different time. It's religion and science related. They're separate. I mean, science can study religion from a sociological perspective, but that doesn't mean that they're intertwined. Are you voting for Jill Stein for president? That's none of your business. I don't tell people who I vote for anymore. I don't find it's ever availed me of any positivity in my life, and fuck you. I don't look over your shoulder when you're in the voting booth. Don't worry about my California ass vote. Who I vote for or don't vote for is up to me. And the answer will be the same after the election, too. How about this? Let me be nicer. I'm undecided. You said you're voting for Jill Stein a couple of weeks ago. Oh, okay. Well, then you know the answer to the question then, don't you? So why'd you ask a question that you knew the answer to? Oh, you didn't ask? I'm sorry. You all blend together. No, you're fine. It's all good. I'm just saying. That's my new stance on it. 110%. It's none of your fucking business who and what I vote for ever. I'm not going to act as a soldier for the duopoly and carry their water for them ever. What I do in the voting booth or don't do is up to me, just like it's up to you. I ain't over your shoulder. Get off of mine. Fuck you. Nice reptilian on your shirt. I know. The rot. This is a bomb ass shirt, bro. This shirt right here is based as fuck. And you can't have one. Sorry, because I don't know who made this. I ordered it on like Facebook Marketplace, I think. Or it might have been off of an ad on YouTube. I can't even fucking remember, bro, where I got it, but it's a based shirt. You do weird things in the voting booth? I bet you do, you sick fuck. Do you think it'll take a mass catastrophe to shock the culture into some real action? No, the culture doesn't get shocked into real action by catastrophe. It becomes compliant and complacent, and it looks to authority to lead it. I lived through 9/11, can attest. Mass tragedy does not create free thinkers. It creates the opposite. It creates scared people that look for big, strong authority to handle business for them. People get scared, and they want daddy government to help them out with it. And it's fucking tragic, the results, okay? Yeah, I could survive a year as the size of a peanut, bro. I could do it, bro. You know why? Because I watched when I was a kid, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a gang of times, bro. A gang. And they were shrunk down to like the size of a fly or less. So as a peanut size, bro, I could still take on most shit. There'd be some epic shit. There'd be some cockroach battles and stuff and some fucking fly duels. But I could do it. Yeah, 100%, bro. I'd be alive at the end of that year, and I would be returned to normal human size. Yeah, dude, I could tame, well, not as a peanut sized. I'd have to tame like a possum. Think about that, because there's a big, beautiful mom possum that comes along our fence line at night. She's beautiful. What if I tamed her and I had that vicious little possum as a mount. Then who's fucking with me? Who is fucking with me at that point? Nobody in this neighborhood, right? Tame a mantis, because he'd be about my size. So I'd have like a whole companion that's a mantis. Just like, come on. Scythe. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah. I'd be fine, dude. There's no tarantulas where I live, so I'm fucking golden, dude. The biggest spider where I live is like that big, bro. They're not, like, I don't live in tarantula land, okay? So I'm chill. Birds and cats are going to be the thing that I got to watch most out for, dude. Because there's fucking red-tailed hawks. There's crows and ravens. There's all kinds of blue jays around here. They would snap me up. Peanut size is enough for a blue jay to kill my ass. Did Buddha smoke weed, Paul, or is it Buddhist blasphemy to ask? I don't know, man. I really don't fucking... I'm not really Buddhist. I'm a Taoist. And I don't know if Buddha smoked weed. I know that Buddhism is very, very against mind-altering substances. And so I'm going to guess nah. I'm going to guess Buddha didn't do much weed smoking. But I will tell you this. Buddhist koans are filled to the brim with people who follow the Tao of Buddhism, who are drunks, rogues, drifters. Some of the most interesting stories from Buddhism are about people that followed the path but transgressed along the way. I know I have asked this before, but I'm genuinely curious on here, but is America on the brink of civil war, or is it just panic talk? I don't know. I mean, like, I think to a certain extent it's panic talk, but I don't think it's unthinkable that the political division in America, which, by the way, it's at a fever pitch in my lifetime. People used to not give a fuck if you were a Republican or Democrat. That was like a secondary or third-rate thing that you might like have a friendly argument about over a couple of beers one day, but doesn't really influence how you feel about a human being at all. It went from that to like this world now where if you don't claim, you know, it's like the Bloods and the Crips now, bro. Legit. Dude, if you don't sea-walk, then you don't fucking like Kamala Harris. You must be a fucking slob. Oh yeah, dude, you don't like Daddy Trump? Well, you must be a crab, bro. And I'm like, oh, explain it to me. If I'm not getting it, explain it to me, you know? You think stupid people reflexively dislike and ignore intelligent people? No, I don't think so. I think they find intelligent people who are willing to say things intelligently that fit their own internal bias. I think they use intelligent people as crutches to push themselves further in online debates or arguments. So no, I think it's the opposite. China and Russia versus NATO. Who wins in your opinion? Right now, probably nobody. That's a nuclear conflict, bro. That's mass nuclear death. Nobody wins. Nuclear winter, nobody wins, bro. I just recently heard about Slab City, California. Yeah, dude, Slab City is kind of an unincorporated town out in a dry lake bed. There used to be a big giant lake in the Central Valley of California called Lake Tulare, or Lake Tulare. And Lake Tulare, slowly but surely was drained away. There was this whole community that they built out in Slab City. And then something happened. I can't remember what precipitated it, but the water went bad. It's out in the middle of the fucking desert, right? And something happened. They made some man-made lake, and it went salty. I think it went brackish or some shit. And it's like this whole community that was starting to spring up was just abandoned. And so that's why they call it Slab City, because they laid down tons of these concrete slabs, but never got to the point where they were putting houses on most of them. So what happens is there's this little gray community in California. It's like a quasi-legal status place that is self-policing. You can't really rely on the cops because the cops don't really police that. I mean, they'll come, but it's not part of anybody's jurisdiction. You can come if you want. The people there kind of self-enforce a go along to get along kind of mentality. It's like you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, as long as it doesn't piss on my right to do the same. You come, you claim a slab, you bring a trailer, you bring a van, you live there as long as you want. It's a very transient place as far as I understand it. People come and go quite often. Some people stay for years. Some people are like regulars that'll come back again and again for that sense of being off the grid and in a community of people that doesn't necessarily directly rely on government involvement, where it's like a free open barter economy and shit. My mom lives out there right now and is trying to get my younger, really? She lives in a slab? Dude, don't let your younger siblings go out there, bro. Intercede in that shit if you can. I mean, I don't really have a problem with people living in slab. I think it's a fucking legit thing to do if that's your thing, but slabbing kids is kind of bad, bro. No, it's not even necessarily escape. It's a place where people go to disappear. It's a place where people go where they don't exist as far as the rest of us are concerned. And there are a lot of places like that, you know, and especially if you look microcosmically, even in big urban cities. One of the things that comes to mind are like the mole people of Las Vegas. There's a whole community of people living in the sewers and drainage ducts in Vegas. You know, they basically functionally have no legal status. They don't exist down there. They come up, interact with the world in various ways, but they're not leaving, you know, behind a trace of themselves on normal walkways and normal infrastructure, right? Slab City is that, but taken to it's taken to like an almost experimental communal degree. Well, there's a really great documentary that was made in the 90s about people that lived in the abandoned subway tunnels and stuff underneath New York City. It's called Dark Days. And you want to watch a fucking crazy good documentary that's done in that really like fly on the wall style, where the documentary doesn't have a traditional narrative. The narrative is provided by things that people that live down in this fucking place, the things that they say, the things that they believe, their philosophies, their life stories. Dark Days, look it up, dude. It is fucking great. It's yeah, not to be confused with Strange Days, which is actually a pretty good movie as well. It's got Ralph Fiennes in it, and it's a good movie. But yeah, Dark Days is the name of the documentary. It was a late 90s or early 2000s documentary about people that lived in abandoned subway tunnels in New York City. Yeah, those tunnels have massive communities, and they're self-policing and self-governing and all of that shit. It's crazy. I want to know what I'm talking about? We're talking about, I don't know, man. Just listen for a while, bro. There's no, like, overarching topic to my streams. I talk to you, you talk to me, yeah? Yeah, add that to your watch list if you can track it down. It's a really great documentary. Nobody mentions it anymore. Yeah, honestly, if you're new here, this is, we just kick it. I try and keep it low-key. Sometimes I get a little fucking edgy and shit. But I really try and keep it light and fun and interesting, and we talk about whatever, you know? So, I don't want this to be like a high-stress fucking environment for everybody. You know, there's plenty of that. You can scroll around the shorts here and find any number of people screaming at each other, belly dancing for clicks, fucking, you can go get that fucking high energy, high stress, high fucking engagement, debate bro shit any number of places, bro. I don't bring that energy. I never do. Amino likey. Probably gonna off myself in a bit. Well, do it on your own accord. You know, don't fucking announce it up in here. See you later. You mean sleep? Bro, shut up. I saw someone in blackface on YouTube Live yesterday, and it was crazy. Yeah, YouTube Live is a little bit Wild West right now, dude. I told you guys the other week about the lady. I was sitting on the shitter scrolling through fucking YouTube Live shorts, and there was a big fat lady wearing a tank top, but she had pulled that tank top down. So the tank top straps were just covering the little nipple buds, but you could see her big ass dinner plate areolas, and she had like 1,000 people watching her. And all she was doing was standing there pretending to talk about shit. But really, it was all about the fact that her whole ass big, floppy, sloppy areolas were out for the whole fucking world to see, bro. It's a wild world out there in YouTube land right now, bro. 100% easy money, bro. Just bring out the pepperoni nipples. Stripping Grant. Was she hot? Somebody thought so. At least 1,000 dudes thought she was hot enough. You know? Big old salamis, bro. Just out there. On YouTube. Where your kids are on the fucking iPad looking at it, bro. You know what I mean? Pepperonis. Double, triple pepperonis. The big size. Flapjacks almost, man. Almost flapjack size. And the only thing that was covered was the suckle bud. Only covered up the suckle bud. Whole ass titty and nip just out. My G. You know? It's a wild world out there, dude. It's a whole brave new world out there, dude. Shit is wild. The suckle butt. I don't know what to call that part. You know what I'm saying, though? This was on YouTube Shorts live. She was live. Her mic was terrible. You could barely hear what she was saying. And whatever she was using, the phone was pointed right at her chest. Her head was almost cut off. And she was just like, yeah, you know, I don't think Donald Trump is going to buy. I don't even know what. She was just talking about Donald Trump. But her whole ass floppers were out. There wasn't nothing covered because she had her whole tank top pulled down to the point where like the strap that's supposed to be over your shoulder was over the suckle buds. What was her channel asking for a friend? I have bad news for you, bro. And I kind of feel bad about this, but part of me doesn't, bro. When I saw that, I was sitting on a shitter. Okay? And I reflexively reported it. I was like, this is bullshit. This bitch can't just have her suckle buds covered and make money on that. And I didn't even think about what I was doing. I just reported it. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm reporting this bitch. And I shit you not, bro. I reported it, said thank you for your report. And I watched like 2 more seconds of the suckle buds. And it was like, bloop. This stream has been, the channel associated with this stream has been terminated for violating our policy on sexual content. And I was like, I did it? What the heck do algorithms even do? They sort people into consumer groups. 100%. They categorize you by your interest. That's what an algorithm does. Figures out the things that interest you enough for you to watch it and feeds you more of it. What in the Joe Dirt? Come on, dude. I don't got no fucking mullet. I'm not wearing a sleeveless shirt. Okay? I don't have a rebel flag behind me, okay? Don't hit me with the Joe Dirt. Okay? That's a drive-by. That's drive-by shit. Oh, you're kidding? All right, fair enough. I forgive you then. I got triggered for a second, bro. It's like I'm a little bit of a fucking hippie or dirtbag or whatever. But I'm not Joe Dirt, dude. I'm not sitting here in a fucking sleeveless tee, swilling a Pabst Blue Ribbon, spitting chaw backy. Like, I'm an old fat hippie smoking a joint, bro. Okay, come on. That ain't Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt sucks, bro. It triggered me because that movie sucks, bro. Dude, I lived through the 90s when they actually put that shit out, bro. I was the age range they were trying to go see that. Yeah, dude, you almost called me sugar gay. What'd you say? You call me sugar gay? Do you guys want to watch that again? I'm the kind of person that's evergreen to me. Would you guys care to see the sugar gay moment one last time? Because I'll play it for you guys if you want it. But if you guys are chill on it because you saw it, yeah, see, Merrick doesn't want to see sugar gay again. Who said that? Who said sugar gay? We'll watch it real quick. It's not long, okay? Merrick, all right, you got outvoted. I'm sorry, bud, but we won't dwell. We won't dwell. We're not going to dwell. But we are going to watch it real quick, okay? Because it is one of the funniest things that ever happened. Sugar Ray, yeah, sugar gay. Okay. Hold the fucking phone. Let me restart it. Crank up the volume. And then I'll get it going here for you guys. And I'll try and hit play. All right, here we go.
Make a hole, gentlemen! Make a hole! Move it! Sugar gay! Who said sugar gay? I'm beating your fucking ass. Who said that? Did you? Oh, I told you. You say that? Oh, I didn't say anything. You want to be smart? Did I say anything? Did I say anything? Did you say something? No, I did not say anything. You didn't say that. Hey, Mark, can I get your autograph, man? Oh, man. You can't.
Sugar gay. Who said sugar gay? Who said that? You said that? You call me sugar gay? Bro, that happened in the real world, bro. Out on the street, that happened. In the real world, bro. Somebody once told me... No, that's the wrong band. But it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? Smash Mouth and Sugar Gay were basically the same band, just remonetized. In my world, they were. In fact, I gotta be honest with you. Sugar Gay was like, "Hey, Mom, can we have some Smash Mouth? Can we buy Smash Mouth's new album?" No, we got Smash Mouth at home. Sugar Gay is Smash Mouth at home, bro. Let's be real. If I gotta get rid of Smash Mouth, which is tempting, or Sugar Gay, which is, it's a foregone conclusion. How did it go? Couldn't understand, how to work things out. Once again, as predicted, left my broken heart open, and you ripped it out. Something's got me reeling, stop me from believing, turn me around again. Right? Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, I'd take that one. They both suck. There's a way to eliminate them both. I do both. But Sugar Gay goes in that battle. Sugar Gay easy. Is it true playing a first-person shooter game a few times a week? I don't know. Sure, it improves your like hand-eye coordination and stuff. Kind of rock even is that. We used to call it pussy rock. It started happening. So here's what happened, right? Rock and roll at the end of the 80s was kind of fucking cool, but weird, right? It was very like androgynous dudes dressing up like wrestlers and stuff. And it was this very like butt rock shit. Or like kind of speed metally, like dun 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 dun, you know, and somebody would be going like wah, like the lead singer looked like a hot chick. That was the 80s. That was like kind of where rock was at the end of the 80s, right? Then the 90s came around, right? And it took a while for that pop rock, hard rock to disappear. But when it did, dude, the greatest shit filled the gap, right? Tool, Clutch, Nirvana. You know what I mean? Like this kind of moody, brooding, poetic kind of dark rock. The Deftones, right? This fucking like really grungy kind of stripped down musical sound started coming out of it, right? And everybody wanted some of that money, right? And so I want you to imagine that you're sugar gay, right? You don't have any realness in you that you can market. You're sugar gay, right? But you want a piece of that pie. So what are you and 1,000 other pussy rockers gonna do to get a piece of that pie? You're gonna grab the aesthetic, right? Never even heard of Clutch? Oh, dude, listen to their self-titled album from the 90s. Clutch, Clutch. And tell me you're not fucking blown away by what rock and roll was at that point, bro. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Okay, you're right. That's actually a good thing that you brought up. But here's the thing. Sublime, right? Sublime came along. Brought this clearly like patois, Jamaican, reggae-inspired kind of sound to a landscape that was very, I'm not like them. I can pretend the sun is gone, but I have a light. The day, right? And then Sublime comes along. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. And 311 comes along and goes, whoa, amber is the color of your energy, right? So some of these bands came along, right? Primus does suck. You're right. Primus sucks forever. A lot of these bands come along, right? Dude, Primus plays mediocre country music. Right? And so some of these softer bands came along. Here's a few more. I'll give you a few more. Softer, even one-hit wonder bands that came along that brought energy that wasn't something else. How about this right here? Boom, boom, hanging round downtown by myself, and I've got so much time to sit and think about myself. And then there she was. In platform double suede, yeah, there she was. Like disco lemonade, I smell sex in, right? Soft, but cool. Blues Traveler had a fucking like blues vibe, obviously, right? Whale, seeking candy, round the barn, live or dead. You think I didn't know that one, huh? Dead for good, life or dead, misunderstood. You hobo, humping slow bro, babe. Yeah. Okay, no. Now we're getting into a different category. So think about it. And for the record, we're going to think about being sugar gay. Okay? You're sugar gay. It's the 90s. You want some of that guap. You're listening to some of these softer guys that are taking a softer take on rock that's a little more reminiscent to the 70s than anything. And you go, I want some of that. But you got no poetry in your soul. You got no interesting story back in you, and you definitely aren't talented in comparison to any of the people you're trying to be like. So you create a band, and you call it Sugar Gay, and you write a song like every morning. Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. I know it's not like, but I'll see if I can use it for a weekend or a one-night stand. Couldn't understand. This is the sublime part, guys. How to work it out. See how it's got that little bit of Jamaican? Hold on, listen to this. Once again, as predicted, left my broken heart open and you ripped it out. And then you know what's a cool thing that other bands have done? Let's put a little bit of scratching on a turntable. Something's got me reeling, stop me from believing, turn me around again. Come, my lady, come, my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar lady. Come, my lady, you're my pretty baby, you make me go down, I make you go crazy. Earworm, pussy rock nonsense about eating pussy. That's not, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, butthole surfers, bro, for sure. Ronnie got with Sharon. Sharon got Cherie. She was sharing Sharon's outlook on the topic of disease. Bobby had a racing car and Johnny was a racist. They were all in love with Di and they were doing it in Texas. I don't mind the sun sometimes, the images it shows. I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Cinnamon and sugary and softly spoken lines. You never know just how you look through other people's eyes. Acid rock. Yeah, dude. I love me some butthole surfers, bro. Never got to see them live, but I heard their fucking live shows are insane. A lot of people that got popular off of a big song, it's like Kurt hated Smells Like Teen Spirit. To him, it was like the most throwaway song. It was a joke song that made it to the record because it was catchy. He thought it wasn't going to do well, and it ended up being what defined his career, and he fucking hated it. I don't blame Beck. Beck has made way better songs than Loser, but who wants to listen to him, right? He made the Earworm. Not a big Sonic Youth fan, and never heard of Big Black. Can't touch this. You know what was sad? People don't remember this, but in the 90s, in the early 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s, something happened to rap, right? Something happened to rap, where like rap was like exactly like MC Hammer, right? It was like boom, 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 boom. My music makes me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me with a mind to rhyme and I feel good. You know what I mean? It was like that. It was like dance shit, right? And then all of a sudden it was click clack. The Draco came out, right? It went dark. Right? It went from can't touch this to like, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. You know what I mean? It was like, what? We loved it though. Us hip hop heads, we loved it. And poor ass fucking old ass at this time, probably 35-year-old MC Hammer, showed up on the radar again in the early 90s, bro. I can't even tell you about. I feel bad for the man to this day, bro. I shit you not. I was sitting in my crib watching MTV on a weekend, probably just chilling. And they're like, here's that new joint from MC Hammer, pumps and I was like, what? MC Hammer? Pumps and a bump. And I swear to God, poor ass, fucking old ass, balding ass, fucking receding hairline ass Hammer was on there with a big old donkey rope and blacked out lokes, sagging and ragging. I'm not even kidding. The dude that did parachute pants and a gold vest, can't touch this. That dude showed up sagging, ragging in a big oversized 3XL jersey. He was ragging with a donkey rope that looked like it would choke a whale, blacked out lokes. Pumps and a bump, pumps and a bump. We like the girls with the pumps and a bump. We were like, huh? Same fucking shit, I shit you not. Having a vanilla ice. You're right. Vanilla, right? Comes on the scene like, you know what I mean? You've heard it. I don't gotta do it for you, right? Definitely not a rip off of Under Pressure. Right? All right, stop. Doing that like shimmy with a gold vest on, lines in the side with a big pompadour. Ice, ice, baby. And then this motherfucker falls off the radar as well he should have. Shows up again in the early 90s, right? And we're like, here's that new Vanilla Ice joint, Hootie Mac. And I'm like, vanilla? And the man that pops out has white boy dreads down to here. He's sagging. His chain is dragging. And he's got a fake ass fat slip. And he's going like, Hootie Mac, roll it up. Blowing on the Hootie Mac. Ripping up the twister. Sucking on the green. Puffing on the... Get out of here, you fake ass motherfucker. Whack ass studio gangsters, man. No, I mean, Slick Rick, like, kind of defined the modern rap aesthetic, and people don't give him... Yeah, Hootie Mac, dude, that it may not shock you to realize that never caught on. Never once in all my years of being a stoner, and I've been a stoner since I was fucking 13 years old, did I have anybody organically walk up to me and go, hey, you got any of that Hootie Mac? Not one fucking time. Didn't happen, y'all. Trying to force the meme, dude. Have you ever in your life been smoking out in a semi-public place and had somebody be like, damn, y'all on the Hootie Mac? No, you have not. I wouldn't leave, but I would have that motherfucker leave. I wouldn't leave, but that motherfucker sure enough would be leaving. Your thoughts on the bling era? Yeah, people like that, dude. There were no squares in the circle in the 90s. That's kind of, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's kind of the problem that's happened is people conglomerate in online. Dude, a lot of squares have snuck into y'all's circles. You guys got people that are telling. You got people that are snitching. You got people that are doing this weird, like, keeping all the logs that you're involved. You got all kinds of snitches among you, bro. That shit did not fly when I was a kid, bro. You are lacking just by who you surround yourself and what you share of yourself with people, bro. On some real shit, bro. Just because weed is legal now doesn't mean you, like, don't know how to keep, like, nobody knows how to keep their dirt on the down low. Get a job, bum? Dude, I own a business. I'm doing my job. What do you want me to do? Work a second job? I don't need to. I make enough money doing what I do. You can be sad and mad about it, but you really can't get a job at a business owner. You could be very sad and mad about it, though. A lot of people are. I would be, too, if I was on the outside looking in, you know? Yeah, dude. Fuck you, you backstabbing piece of shit, Jack Black. Oh, dude. See, that was the thing. Is like, people don't understand that shit, though. You can't explain that shit to them, man. There was a whole ass fucking social pressure system that kept you on point back in the day. And I'm not saying you couldn't transgress, but if you did so at your own peril, bro. If you got labeled a weirdo or a poser, somebody that was like perpetrating, pretending to be this, trying to be gang, whatever it was, right? Dude, you were not in the circle anymore. You couldn't find any weed. Hey, do you know a guy that I could buy some? Nah, man, I don't know anybody right now. You don't get called for the sesh. And there was just a lot of this shit, bro, that people don't understand. You don't enforce it anymore. You got a lot of squares in your circle. No squares in the circle back in the day, bro. Nobody telling. Nobody snitching. Nobody acting like they're fucking state's witness in your normal ass conversations and shit. That shit didn't exist, bro. Those type of people got fucking extricated quick. It wasn't even a list. It was implicit. It just got around about you like, this guy likes talking. And you're like, oh, all right. I guess he ain't fucking coming over. Hey, you guys smoking tonight? Nah, man. We all got homework and shit. Oh, bro. All right. Well, call me if something pops off. We will. Rap snitches. Telling all their business. Sit in the court and be your own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yes, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Yeah, dude. Yeah, rap snitches. Telling all their business. You guys need to listen to that fucking song and internalize it, bro. That Doom hit me hard, bro. Guy was like my age. Couple years older than me. Dead as a doornail. Don't even make no fucking sense. Probably the most talented MC alive just died. Young. Fuck. I'm going back to Cali. Cali. I'm going back to Cali. No, I don't think so. They're self-snitching. And then they want to be little snitches in your circle. That's why I keep telling you guys got a lot of squares in your circle. Dude, I don't know about a square in my circle, bro. Are you kidding me? Turning states. Bringing up old-ass shit like they got a fucking archive of it and stuff. Your ass is out. Your ass never was invited in the first place, likely. 0 squares in the circle, bro. I'm not even kidding you guys, dude. I'm not trying to overblow it or make it like it was some Nickelodeon movie or some shit, but you had to have a whole ass meeting if you were going to invite somebody that people didn't know to come smoke. That was not something you just did nonchalantly. You didn't just bring your boy from the next town over. Like, there was a vetting process for this shit. You were questioned. How long you known this guy? Where you know him from? What do you know about him? What school does he go to? He a smoker? What's he into? What kind of music is he into? You're going to get questioned, bro. You don't just bring somebody to a get-together back in the day where you're going to be doing dirt. Nowadays, I feel like you'd have fucking 18 federal agents in every party. Guys have got zero. Keep your fucking business on the down low mentality anymore. Reminds me of being around stoners who would be too stoned to be in public. The vetting process kind of went away during... Yeah. Well, it kind of went away, I think, with the online era, because the vetting process became like, you could pretend to be a cool guy. Oh, look at me. I'm a doctor. I'm a pre-med student. And you're sitting in your sour vinegar basement playing WoW, and nobody can tell, really. You know? So it really was like the movement of true socialization and friendship from in-person gatherings to these online spaces where people can act like a bunch of fucking assholes.
That was one, right?
I know, I got one. Rap snitches. I love that song. I wish I could play it, but I can't. I'd get tagged. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
It's not
though.
even that you're worried about getting claimed. It's saying that you're violating policy live streaming. That's the real problem. Is like, if copyright's in a fucking upload, it doesn't get monetized usually. And
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not a big
they-
deal, but like if you stream something that gets claimed while you're live,
Yeah,
that's a
you
strike.
get boned. Yeah, you get boned. You get a strike on it.
Yeah.
Because they assume you're just like making money while showing somebody else's shit, and
Yeah.
really you kind of are. So.
If you're gonna do questionably copyright shit, don't do it live.
Yeah. This airspace is closed. This airspace is closed. Hey, I could just fan you with it and maybe kill flies at the same time. Will the U.S. government ever defeat the cartels? Bro, I have a secret to tell you. The U.S. government is the cartels. Why do you think... So this is one of those things, man. Why do you think that there are a bunch of people who are not military running around Mexico with military hardware? These guns did not appear in a vacuum out of nowhere, and they certainly weren't manufactured and assembled in Mexico. How did they get them? This is on the books. What was it called? Operation Fast and Furious, where the FBI was caught running guns across the Mexican border to cartels. So when you say cartels, a lot of people don't know this. These are just the Mexican arm of the American government. And you can look it up. I'm not just being a conspiracy nut here. Operation Fast and Furious, or Too Fast, Too Furious.
It's also called ATF gun walking scandal.
Yes.
So they ran stings where they purposely allowed licensed firearm dealers to sell weapons to illegal straw buyers to the cartel, but they never actually
Followed up on the stings.
Yeah.
So they were just...
They were just allowing people to sell guns illegally to cartel members, basically.
Right. Source?
So look up ATF gun walking scandal, Operation Fast and Furious.
Yep. I'm not your Google, but you can do that, right? Iran-Contra was a big scandal back in the 80s as well, but that was on the government level, right? Where the American government was caught arming both sides of the conflict. It was like caught arming one side of the conflict while claiming to do so under the banner of a treaty, and then was arming the rebels in that conflict in an attempt to effect a coup in the country.
And we can't learn more about it because Obama blocked it with
He sealed it.
executive privilege.
He sealed it.
Yeah.
He made sure that, because it was all about to be unsealed, it had been the requisite amount of years, they couldn't keep it top secret unless they reclassified it, and he reclassified it.
Yeah, and then it got held up so long to try to force it out that once the
It's in-
Democrats took over,
It's in legal limbo.
Yeah.
Like there's not a case open on it right now. Nobody's suing for it. Nobody cares anymore. It's ancient history according to the internet. Dude, if you ask me one more time what you're gonna find, like I'm your Google, I'm gonna ban your fucking dumb ass out of here. I'm not even joking, bro. Get on Google and look it up yourself, retard. Oh my god, you people are fucking... thank you. You know what, Midnight Ghoul, you're right. This guy was a time waster. In the time he took to type those 3 paragraphs of, is this gonna be conspiracy stuff if I look it up? He could have looked it up and seen that it's not conspiracy stuff. Nuke him. Time wasting, sea lioning retard.
It's not hard. You can.
Oh my god. What am I gonna find when I look into this myself? What do you think? This motherfucker wants to use me like I'm his Siri. Hello, Google.
It's like we have this magical tool that allows us to find out almost anything we want instantly, and people just don't want to use it.
Here, if he's out there still watching, I'll do it for you, bro. Hey, Siri, what's Operation Fast and Furious?
Here's some info about ATF gunwalking scandal.
Gunwalking, or letting guns walk, was a tactic used by the Arizona U.S. Attorney's Office. Can you read this to me, Siri? Read this to me, Siri.
This page is not set up for me to read.
Of course it isn't. You're a piece of shit, Siri.
Well, there's the barrier. They'd have to actually read.
Yeah, that's the problem. He needs me to tell him with my mouth, but he want me to vet it and prove I'm not conspiracy theory, because this don't fit my preconceived notions about reality. It's like, you so dumb, Dunning-Kruger fuck. Just go to Google, and by the way, while you're there, go to Amazon and order a couple of history books and read them. It's only gonna make your life easier, bro. Unbelievable, bro. The willful ignorance of people just drives me nuts. It's one thing to just be a stupid kid who hasn't had the opportunity or upbringing that allows you to know how to set yourself up for success. It's another thing to be a grown-ass adult with the fucking internet at your fingertips and every book ever written by humanity at your fingertips and come in here asking me to vet shit for you. I'm sorry that you can't process information that isn't spoken to you by somebody who's literate, but that's not my problem. Would it offend you? Get him the fuck out. Another alt burned. Yeah, nobody's hiding it, Lamau. It's all like public information, bro. He acts like I'm reading like the Daily Stormer fucking forums to him or some shit. Source, I made it all the fuck up, bro. God damn it. Fucking flies are
I know. It's...
on hot status today. All right, I'm having one more. This is it. This is your timer. Cigarette timer is starting now. When I stub this out, it's game for you. You're gonna have to go find somebody more retarded than me to watch. My infinite wisdom and limitless and bottomless knowledge is only available to you for the time it takes me to smoke this fucking cigarette, so you better make it count.
Back up.
Is it hypocritical at all, Paul, for a person who eats meat to be squeamish if they had to slaughter an animal themselves? No, not at all.
I mean, there's people that, like, would get squeamish fucking digging a potato out of the ground.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Yeah, there are people that don't like bugs, they don't like dirt, they don't like mud, they don't like fertilizer and animal poop and stuff. There's all kinds of... It's like, there's a difference between buying meat at the butcher and being the butcher, right? Certainly you go back further in time and your squeamishness and proclivity towards it would be subsumed by your need to process meat that you caught. You know, there really wasn't a whole lot of options for you to just eat yams back in the day. People, you know, it was a hard life. You needed protein, you needed dense nutrients, you needed to be able to farm and hunt a deer and skin it and take the meat off of it and get rid of the organs that weren't edible. And
But, I mean, it's not wrong for us to feel squeamish because, yeah, raw meat is dangerous. You can get sick from it.
yeah.
If you don't wash your hands and shit.
Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of evolutionary reasons why people have an aversion sometimes to looking at butchery, but some people don't. Some people have a facility for it and understand it as a biological thing. This isn't an anatomical thing for me. I'm taking this part of the muscle off of a carcass. I'm stripping the hide off of this carcass and processing it so that I can turn this haunch and this and this big fatty back into meat for my tribe, meat for my family, right? That impetus is gone from society. And so people have developed along with society in that way. Our proclivities have changed with society's softening. Now when you go to the supermarket, you don't see a pig sitting there tied up, you know, waiting for you to slit its throat and purchase it. You see neatly packaged cuts of meat that, if you're anything like me, you don't know where they came off of that animal. It could be anything in there, right? It's all we're very removed from the gristle and the grime. You know, one of the things that reminds me of this is, what did they call that? Tanneries, where they used to process hides and fat into tallow and stuff, right? These things used to be a public nuisance back in the day. Because
everyone hated how much they reeked.
They reeked. Blocks of New York City would stink like shit 24/7. Horrible decay, rot, animal renderings, right? It would basically gas out a neighborhood to the point where you either got used to the stink or you moved. They would dump all of the refuse in the streets, and the refuse from a tannery is just like unusable, rotten animal fat and organ meat that's got flies all over it and still filled with shit. Just stuff they can't use, so they... And there was no municipal garbage ordinance, so they'd just slop it out into the streets, which would bring flies, roaches, rats, plague, disease, right? And these businesses, you couldn't deny where your goods came from, because chances are you'd been in a neighborhood that was near a tannery. It's like the butcher shop was right there. The processing, the guts and gore and grime of it was in your face whether you wanted it or not. And so people were way less sensitive to it back in the day. Even people that might have had a proclivity towards sensitivity to it probably processed it better than a modern human being would.
Yeah, well, it's like exposure therapy. Like, you can't...
Right.
You would just become catatonic if you couldn't, like, increase your tolerance of things that bothered you.
All right, there were probably a lot of people that didn't relish doing it, but they also didn't relish starvation and watching their family starve either, so they did it. And then there were probably quite a few people that just have a proclivity for it. They're able to separate themselves from the horror of dismembering something, because it's processing, like I said, it's an anatomical exercise to them. I'm removing this from a carcass. They've even created these types of words that they use to distance themselves from the fact that they are opening up what used to be a living thing and cutting it into chunks. I am processing a carcass.
This is a short round,
right?
Not like a hit or whatever.
We're going to take this carcass and we're going to get a good eye round out of it, and we're going to get a good 2 or 3 pounds of chuck out of this carcass. You know what I mean? It's like they've necessarily, I think, separated themselves from the biological reality of, I'm about to take a sharp knife and cut open something that was alive 10 minutes ago. And I'm going to take out its organs, and I'm going to throw away the stuff I can't use, and I'm going to process most of it into different things and sell it to people. Like, it's fine. That's part of life, but they've created this kind of environment where I think a lot of people separate it. It's like, well, this animal is dead. This animal was bred to die for me to cut it up. It is a product. I am an artisan that takes a product and refines it into a sellable product. Right? Nothing wrong with that thought process. It's just some people can't separate. Anyway, I just stubbed out my cigarette, so fuck you.